All right, I'm kind of staying on these morning habits. It is a common theme, definitely in one-on-ones as we break down, because there's a lot of requests or desires to tell me step by step what I should do in the morning and the night, and that's what we have to break away from, especially if we're trying to understand our body and our healing responses, or symptoms of healing, and all injuries and everything that we've got going on at any time. The biggest part of that is to bring back the intuitive guide, bring back the you connecting with feelings, bring back that feelings aren't wrong, that your body responses that you sense, all sensations can't be wrong because they are for you as a guide. And if we block them and consider them wrong, then we wouldn't know our next step. We wouldn't know a direction. We would know somebody else's next step. We would know a profession's next step. We would know a license next step. We would know a form of medicine's next step, or a protocol's next step, or a program's next step. But we have to break out of that. And so with morning routines, you think about ingredients or colors that we're going to paint with. You've got beliefs and feelings and thoughts. You've got, light, not just sunlight. You've got rest, not just sleep and naps. You've got nourishment, not just food and drink. You've got training, not just physical activity. You've got some things that you can access, and to stack or create your own version of those and have a reason why. Your intention behind it's going to be the biggest component of your medicinal choices, not medication choices, because there is a big difference between medication and medicine. And maybe that's another video, but I wanted to touch base on, because even just me sharing just a fraction of what I do in the mornings, or what I want to have done in the mornings, there's no way to show the depth of the stuff that really changes me, because that's private, that's personal, that's intimate for me. I'm feeling things. I'm not feeling for a show. I'm not feeling to motivate somebody. I'm not feeling to create a testimonial. I'm not that we have to get away from as well. So they're very stacked. I like to compound. I like to challenge. I like to bring in ritual, make it a ritualistic component of some kind. That's why I like smoking that pipe as the smell. I flavor my own cherry tobacco in cherry juice and molasses, so it gives this smell. And I like triggering a smell when I'm going through some of my rituals, some of my routines. I like to stimulate all the senses. Is how I kind of guide and teach people. So what do we have? We have eyes, ears, nose, we have mouth, we have skin, we have vibration, we have temperature. And so if you can tap into all those as part of your ritual, you're going to be stimulating and informing your body around whatever it is that you're going into for the reason that you're going to do it. And again, we got to get away from doing it to cure or prevent. That has to be left. Or you have to own that if you are doing your routines and rituals around curing and prevent, you have to own what the body's going to think about that and what it's going to eventually do for you and what you're going to have to face. You're going to have to own that, and own that you might not want to face it, might not want to do anything, and that's totally cool too, because we have the ultimate level of choices in this whole thing. That's why it's one of the freest components to life is our symptoms of healing, our injuries, and what our choices and understanding are, and actions after that. It will never be taken away from you. That is the ultimate. You ultimately can do and control and have a say in all of that, and I think that's exciting for me. But getting back to, if you guys remember, if you've been following for quite a while, part of my routine on the weekends, I would do a coffee enema, and everybody thinks that they're catching me in what I'm saying now versus what I was doing then. And really, truly, honestly, everybody's changing anyway. So even if it was that, it doesn't hold. That's why I had to update my book from 2018 to now. Not that I backpedaled on anything, but there's just forged information and understanding that is constantly changing. Why do you think I closed my office? Why did I burn my degree? And so I used to do coffee enemas, and the reason behind the ritual, behind the routine, everybody wants to say, oh, you're detoxing your liver and you're preventing cancer and you're flushing your colon and it's blah, blah, blah. That absolutely wasn't why I was doing it. And I don't even think I got into why I was doing it. I just showed pictures of it, again, motivating through video. So it wasn't even part of what I was doing for the reason I was doing. I was showing you to just say, hey, this is what I do. What do you do? But the real reason behind it, I wanted 64 ounces, and I would do the full bucket, the biggest bucket I could find and purchase, 64 ounces of fluid ingested through that orifice, and then laying on my back and holding that, usually with my legs up in the air or in like a crunch position, and hold 64 ounces behind that piece of tissue for 30 minutes. Now, the reason I did that, if you think about this, is, and the experience I had, and I was just baffled how hard it was, because the body is going to want to expel it. So I'm going to have to counter the natural process of the body wanting to push out with everything in my feelings, thoughts, emotions, with every bit of my pelvic floor musculature. And pelvic floor doesn't work without the feet and doesn't work without the hands. So I have to connect all that as well. I could not lapse in focus for a flash of a second during some of the contractions, because if I did, if I lost control of my body during that event, we'd have 64 ounces of coffee and shit all over, exploding all over my living room. Sounds gross, but that's what was at stake. That's what I wanted to have, the risk level there. Did I ever lose? No. Did I come close? Holy shit, pun intended, very close to where I literally had to summon almost visualizations. Like I was starting to see things and start, because of where I was going to. It wasn't like that for the full 30 minutes, because the body's never stagnant at some level for 30 minutes of time. It doesn't make any sense. There were waves. And so there'd be like 5 or 6 of these waves where everything in my being, everything, mentally, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, physically, had to be summoned, had to be focused on, had to be all dialed in. Otherwise, me losing would be a living room full of shit and coffee. Why did I choose coffee? Because I didn't want to choose water. I did tea sometimes. So again, my intention behind my routine and my ritual sat deeper than what the other reasons people are doing it for. And this is what you have to assess: your intention behind your choice of a medicinal input. What is the intention behind it? That's going to sit deeper than the actual ingredients or carrying out of the thing that you're choosing. Just like if somebody's vegetarian, oh, that's healthy. But they're choosing vegetarians so they can drink more alcohol. Oh, that's not healthy. No, it's not healthy or unhealthy or anything. It's their choices behind it. But if we just lump it, I'm going to be vegetarian. What's the reasoning behind that? So I can drink more alcohol. What's the reasoning behind that? It's not alcohol and vegetarian or not healthy or healthy. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's why everybody that eats vegetarian doesn't have the same response. Everybody that consumes or avoids alcohol doesn't have the same response. It has to be deeper. So my reason for doing a coffee enema had nothing to do with detoxing, curing, or preventing. Ever fucking ever will I ever do anything like that, because that is not how I would have to face what my body thinks of that. And I would have to, in a cure or prevention standpoint and mindset, that means that my body can turn against me at some point. That means that all symptoms are open for attacks. That means symptoms are just random. Symptoms are given. Symptoms are contagious. Injuries are just because I was, not doing something right or healthy. I was wrong or bad, and I will have to face that reality. So it got me thinking, because I've been thinking a lot about bringing that back, that component to my ritual on mornings or on the weekends, but I just don't have the same setup that I had in the other apartment, so I'd have to set it up differently. But I'm craving that challenge, because that challenge was gnarly. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done from a training aspect, a ritualistic routine aspect, but in no part was it to detoxify, prevent, or cure anything, ever. So again, create your routines. They got to be yours. As creative as an artist creates a painting or a drawing or a whatever, the more you can feel your routines, the more you can touch upon all sensations that the body has to offer during your routines, the better. Your routines don't leave. They don't take discipline. They don't take strict, they're just there. They are just something you do no matter the fuck what. Because you're going to have symptoms. All the time you're going to have symptoms. Sometimes great, sometimes small you're going to sense. And as you hypersensitize your body, you're going to sense things before they become. Or you're going to sense injuries and grades before. This whole reality of like living a symptom-free, injury-free life, that's impossible. That doesn't make any sense. And when you start living the way that I'm guiding you or promoting on this office, you will start to see injuries predicted in thoughts and dreams. You will see them beforehand. Is that a symptom of, it's your call, it's for you to use, you're the one that felt it and saw it and experienced it. So go into your routines, see where they're at, stack them as much as you can. They got to be yours. And again, if anybody were to ask, just think, if anybody were to ask, why do you do that, what would your answer be? What would your honest answer be? Because your body is telling the honesty behind it, not the words that you say because science says this, this, and this, or so-and-so did this. Nah, what's the true reason why something's in your life? Why is it there? Because there was that misunderstanding around me with coffee enemas. Oh, you're doing cancer protocols and all this. No, I'm not. And nobody bothered to ask after. They just thought they caught me in some sort of a hypocritical lie, which just wouldn't be. And if it would, I would just come forward and just say, hey, this is what I was doing. This is what I thought. This is what I backed out on. Boom. Done. But it's not anyone's business anyway, to that depth. So go ahead, assess, analyze, ritualize your routines, deepen your routines, feel your routines. Morning and night are really the only times we have control over. So I like anything from 30 40 minutes to 3 hours in the morning to 30 40 minutes to however long at night. The concrete nature of a routine, and then the artistic creativity that we have within it, and that's always changing and always updating and always alive. Boom.